Hey fifth graders, this is your last video on this lesson. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. We're going to be using markers, and you're each going to get a brand new pack for your table, and we're going to return all these colors to this case, okay, at the end of class. So I'm going to set that aside. But before I get into coloring mine, I want to show you the tip of your Mr. Sketch scented markers. So if you take off the top, you're going to notice it's slanted. And when you turn it this way, it goes to a point, and this way it is a bit wider. This is called a chisel tip, and a chisel tip lets you get different widths with the marker. I'm going to grab a scrap piece. So here's my scrap piece of paper. I can get both a thin and a thick line with this marker. So if I use this part of it and I press down, I'm going to get a nice thick line. But if I use the tip, I can get a thin line. Now these markers are going to stay nice and wonderful for you to use if you use them right. But if you take it and you pound it down like that, or you press really hard, well then of course they're not going to last very long. And sadly, that's usually what happens with the markers in the art room. We use them for a very short time and then they're a disaster. So please take care of your markers and use them the correct way so they last a nice long time. Now before I go on to my paper, I want to show you another coloring technique with your chisel tip Mr. Sketch marker. So if you want to color in a wide area of color and you want it to look really nice, you start at one end and you go slow, you come up to that end, you turn it a bit, and you go down. All the way up, a little bit, all the way down. That way, you're not going to have a lot of, little specks of white showing through where areas that you missed with your marker. It's also going to look a lot nicer than coloring like that. If you see my coloring here, the direction of the marker, you can notice if I start coloring this way, then I change direction and go that way. That can all be seen with the marker. So try your best to color in a way that you're going slowly and you're going in one direction. All right, so I'll put that aside and I'm going to start work on this. I am not going to finish mine in this video. I'm just going to get you started. I do have a finished one for you to look at for ideas, but these color choices are really all up to you. You're also going to have, I'm going to dump all of these out, you're going to have choices of light and dark. So the dark colors, and we're not going to use the black yet. The dark colors are going to be really dark, so you want to use those last. If you're going to be coloring in the background of a pattern here, if I'm coloring the background of the polka dots, and I want a light polka dot, you're going to be coloring those last. So color the background first, the polka dot last. So maybe I'm going to want yellow and orange. So I'm going to take my yellow marker and I'm going to color this. That's nice and easy. I'm going to take this and I'm going to start with my yellow and I'm going to color in a pattern here because Britto's artwork was all about color, pattern, and that black outlining. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start, and it's okay to go on top of this black marker because the marker that we use to outline our design is the permanent marker. I'm skipping this one. I'm going to go over here because I'm going to be coloring in a pattern, and I want to make sure that the other people at my table who want to use yellow, I'm not hogging it up on them, so I'm going to go as quickly as I can. And if I miss things, I can certainly go back with that other tip, but do try to stay in the same direction. I'm going to cap that and I'll go with orange. These are both warm colors. I know they're going to look great together. You're going to want to look at your color wheel to see what color choices are you going to make that are going to look best together. These are warm colors together look great. These are also considered analogous colors. Analogous meaning that they are next to each other on the color wheel. They're similar. I'm going to do these polka dots back here, and I'm going to do this pink. I'm going to do the pink in the background. And I will say it is a little more challenging to color that way that I showed you with the markers with all these patterns, but if you are kind of watching me, you can see what I'm doing. I'm kind of going around these polka dots. You do have to go slowly. Now if you get some pink on a polka dot, don't lose your mind. You're going to be going over those polka dots with a darker color, so it'll all work out. So even though coloring with markers goes pretty quick in some ways, you do have to take your time. Okay, and then I'll use a red. No, I'm going to use a purple. Use purple polka dots. And this one I might want to use the tip of that marker. Always try to do the darker color last. And certainly don't use two dark colors together. That's just going to look too dark. Okay, like dark blue and purple, probably not the best choice because these are the same value, same color value, meaning that they're very similar. They're different colors, but they're kind of at the same shade. It would be a much better choice to use something darker with something lighter so it stands out. All right, that's all I'm going to do on mine. I hope you can get started on yours, and I can't wait to see how they all turn out. Thank you.